Hello, hi, and welcome to this week's Full Body Chills live stream. If you're new here, hi, I'm FEARSONA, and I'm your neighbor. As always, I'm FEARSONA and I mess up my intros, but hi, I'm FEARSONA, and I'm your friendly neighborhood true crime VTuber. You can call me Sona. Hi, and today I'm here to read some very scary stories found on the internet. But fair warning, before we start, some of these stories might actually be cursed. So if you actually hear it, if you listen to the stories, who knows? I don't take responsibility, you might be cursed. This is your last chance. You can leave the stream. You don't have to, if you're not brave enough, that's okay. But if you are brave enough, you can stay with me and yeah, we can listen to some stories. Okay, we can read some scary stories together. Alrighty, so before we begin, I'm just gonna say hello to everyone. Special thanks to Ketsuya and Eric Verastigi for sending in some of the stories that I'm gonna read today. So yeah, like special thanks because both of them are my Patreon members and Patreon members were able to share their stories with me. Okay, and who's here? Who's here? I love how I'm just messing up my intros and I can't speak English because English so hard. But hello, hi, I see Lucky Hearth, I see the John Active, Lance Blue. I do see some new usernames, so hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you do like the content. If you do, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and like the video. Because as small as that is, you know, like this might not be that much, but it actually helps this channel a lot. Okay, Pain-san, hi, welcome back. I see Indonesian. Okay, hello. Shy, as always, thank you so much for being here. And I see Oprin Versam. I think Versam. I'm sorry if I, Hello, I'm from Indonesia. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Undead Rabbit, my regular. Who else is here? Wait. Sage Dragon 2. Hello. Hi, welcome. A normal person. Hi, welcome back. Diel, hello. And Presh? I'm not sure. Is it Presh? Wait. Okay. No, okay. So, yay, there is rain. There is no background music today. There's just rain. So, yeah, that's, I'm just trying to set the spooky mood today, so you guys can hear the rain, you guys can hear the thunder. Who else is here? Okay, Presh, hi. Wait, no, well, I mean, there is rain. I don't know if you guys can hear the rain. It should be, yeah. What? Good morning. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe like for some of you guys, it might be morning. For some of you guys, it might be evening. For me, it's evening because I'm in Taiwan. So, hi, Astro. Hi, how are you doing? Moni Niasar, I think. Hello. I apologize if I did mispronounce your username. And Kyo, hi, welcome. Dorothy Morgan, welcome back. Hi, Sona. Hi. How's it going? I am good. I'm about to read some scary stories, read some cursed stories, but it's okay. I think by now, after all of my streams, I think by now I'm like cursed. I don't know how many times. 10 layers of curses, okay? It's like 10 layers of hell. 10 circles of hell. I just have 10 layers of curses. So, whatever. I have FBI and CIA on my back too. So, whatever. It's raining IRL and in the stream. I love it. Okay, great. Great. I mean, I'm matching the weather. Here, it's raining too, so. Hi from Brighton. Hi, Tyron. Hi, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for modding the stream. We ate at a kite festival. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, I wish I could go to a festival now, but no, unfortunately, the weather is, as you can see, it's the same. It's literally the same outside. It's literally the same in my stream, so. It's almost midnight in my homeland. It is 10 p.m. for me, so hey, I guess we're on the same side of the world. Okay, okay. You know what? Without further ado, let me read some of the stories, and let's get right into it. So the first story is called. It's actually titled, "If you see a Target store in rural Appalachia, keep driving." So let me read it. One day, While typing away on my computer, I got a call from my sister, Anna, in the middle of workday. This was very unusual because we weren't particularly close and usually only talk a few times a year. From the second I picked up, I knew something was wrong. "Adelia?" she asked, sounding stressed. "Yes?" I answered. "What's going on?" "It's your Uncle Jim. He fell again." I sighed. My Uncle Jim and I were very close when I was growing up. He stepped in to help my mom with Anna and I after our father died and was the only father figure I knew. Up until last year, he was very healthy, at least for a 70-something man who had smoked since he was 14. About a year ago, he fell off a ladder one day while painting his living room and his mobility never fully recovered. He'd fallen earlier in the month and sprained his wrist. He also had his electric shut off a few months back due to forgetting the bill. Oh, electricity. Oh, Jesus. Electricity. Yeah, I'm gonna be, by the way, I'm gonna be mispronouncing names. I'm gonna be commenting on the story, so there's gonna be a break in immersion. I'm sorry. Okay, he also had, Okay, so he seemed to be losing his self-sufficiency bit by bit. "I know you don't want to hear this, but I think it's time we started looking at nursing homes for him," Anna said. I shook my head. "No, we can't do that to him. He doesn't want to leave Rex in some dog shelter, and he loves his gardening. He would also hate being stuck in some room all day." "Adelia, he wouldn't be stuck in a room all day. They have activities. He could make friends there." "No, we'll figure something else out." I cut her off, determined to make her see my point. "I care about him too, and I'm not happy about this either," responded Anna. "But I'm scared that if we don't do something soon, he's gonna end up seriously hurt, or worse." "What about hiring a home health aide?" I asked. "I've already looked into that. Pickings are slim around here on his budget, and so far I haven't been able to find anyone. I'll do it," I volunteered without thinking. "What?" asked Anna, sounding surprised. "I'll move back to be his caretaker. My job's remote, and I can clean out the extra room at his house to stay in." "Are you sure?" she asked. "I know you've been doing really well in Louisville." "I love it here," I admitted. "But I want to help Jim. It's the right thing to do. He was always there for us when no one else was." "I mean, that's great, but aren't you worried about living in the same town as Chase?" She asked. The protection orders. Oh no. Oh, no. Oh, an ex with a restraining order. Indonesian, I love your VTuber. I love your VTuber model. Thank you. I assume that's what you meant. Thank you. Okay, and yes, please do read the rules. I'm sorry for breaking the immersion, but please do make sure to read the chat rules. Okay, so the protection order is still in effect, and Jim has plenty of guns and a big dog. I think I'll be okay. I don't know. Well, I gotta get off the phone, but if you're serious about this, I can talk to Jim. "I am," I responded. After ending the call, I sat there in shock. I knew I wanted to be there for Jim, but I couldn't believe I was moving back to the small West Virginia town. Oh, West Virginia! Hey, the Mothman! West Virginia town I had to flee just 4 years ago. I spent the next 2 weeks packing my things and tying up the loose ends of my brief stint in the city. I knew I would miss it. While a lot of my friends craved the wide open spaces, farmland, and light traffic of smaller towns, I felt nothing but dread the second I left city limits. I'd enjoyed growing up in a small town, but as I got older, the facade of it being a safe and quiet space began to disappear. things seemed to get really bad when a local factory closed, leaving many people out of job. Drug use was also rampant in the area, and an increase in theft and property crimes followed. Small businesses closed due to the lack of income, and it was generally accepted that anyone who didn't move away would likely spend their lives in poverty. The lack of employment wasn't the only reason I left. I was a freshman in high school when I met Chase, who was a senior. Oh no. It all connects. Mothman cheek! The Mothman! Oh my god. Wait, the ex is the Mothman. No, never mind. The Mothman's gonna protect her. I'm assuming. You know what? I'm predicting this. This is a small town in West Virginia. Sounds like Point Pleasant. Also, it's cursed. Sounds like Point Pleasant. Jesus. Okay. I think we know where all of this is going. Mothman, Point Pleasant. You know, ex with a restraining order. It's gonna come to a head. And it's gonna be glorious. Okay. The lack of employment wasn't the only reason I left. I was a freshman in high school when I met Chase, who was a senior. I quickly fell for him and moved in with him immediately after graduation. Although he'd been controlling throughout our relationship, I never knew he was capable of violence until his first outburst a few months into us living together. I left a year later. Unfortunately, Chase didn't take the breakup well and immediately began stalking me. I would often notice his car driving past my home and place of employment. He also wrote me unhinged letters accompanied by flowers, sometimes alive, sometimes dead. Creepy things. Please don't do this, like ever. I went to local police several times for help and was basically laughed off or told this was just a relationship issue and I needed to work out. Chase had a cousin in the police force. That's why. Which likely didn't help my case. I had few ties to the small town, especially after my mom passed, and decided the most rational option would be to leave. I arrived at Uncle Jim's just a few days after the call from Anna. Anna and her husband stayed for a few hours to help me get settled in. Jim seemed really glad to have me around. As much as I hated to admit it, I could see why Anna was thinking about a nursing home. Jim would insist on doing everything himself, and within the first week, there were a few fall scares and forgotten pots on the stove. Eventually, he started to feel more comfortable with me helping around the house and seemed to enjoy having more time to just sitting on the porch with Rex. Even though I missed the city, I began to feel somewhat more comfortable at Jim's. I still felt a tad uneasy when I went into town, though, because Chase still lived locally. More than anything, I found myself getting bored. I didn't have any real friends here, and there wasn't much to do. One evening, I found myself taking a drive after Jim went to bed. Oh no, no, do not leave your... either way, we know how it's gonna end. It's gonna end badly. Okay, so I found myself taking a drive after Jim went to bed. I just needed to get out of the house for a while. I stayed away from town and was listening to music with my windows down on the back roads. I was actually having a pretty good time until I noticed a truck behind me. Oh hell no. I didn't think much of it at first, but they seemed to be gaining on me despite the fact that I was driving well over the speed limit. There weren't any other cars, so I figured they would pass me. They didn't. I glanced up at the rearview mirror and quickly looked back down. The driver was a male around my age. I couldn't see him that well, but he did look a lot like Chase. It was hard to say for certain since I hadn't seen him in years. The truck continued to aggressively follow me. I began panicking, fear welling up into my chest. I reached into my purse for my phone. Damn it! It wasn't there. I remembered putting it on the charger and I must have forgotten to take it off. I could feel myself start to hyperventilate, but I knew I had to stay in control. Abruptly and without thinking, I took a sharp right turn onto a single-lane dirt road. One right, then another left. Luckily, I didn't see any sign of the truck once I turned off. I began to wonder if I overreacted. Maybe it wasn't Chase after all. Either way, the driver still seemed questionable. Why tailgate someone for so many miles out in the middle of nowhere when you could just easily pass? I quickly realized that I didn't know where I was. Great. Now I was lost at night with no phone. I tried my best to navigate my way home, but nothing was looking familiar. Just as I was losing hope, I saw a light ahead. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The familiar bright red sign of Target. But how? I glanced around and didn't see anything nearby. No other stores, homes, or businesses. I knew from experience that Target stores are never in small towns. Certainly not on the outskirts of a small, impoverished town in West Virginia. Point Pleasant. Totally Point Pleasant. I mean, maybe, okay, I'm not shitting on Point Pleasant, mind you. I'm not assuming that Point Pleasant is impoverished. In fact, I think they have a lot of business because of the Mothman. So, okay, maybe it doesn't match. It's just a small town in West Virginia, so I immediately just jumped to Point Pleasant. Okay. Certainly not on the outskirts of a small impoverished town in West Virginia. I slowly pulled into the parking lot. I didn't see any other cars there. It was pretty late, so maybe they were closed. I decided to walk up and see. I missed shopping at Target while living in Louisville, and... Oh no, wait, it's Louisville. Okay, never mind. Never mind, I forgot. I forgot the name of the town. Yeah, she did mention it was like Louisville. So, whatever. And the rabbit is just like, oh, Sona. Hey, listen, it's okay, listen, the Mothman. Mothman spot, that's it. That's all there is in my head right now. In my mind. On my mind. Okay, Sona Mothman goes to Target. Yeah. He bought some things. Hey. He bought sexy underwear. For his butt. Okay. I missed shopping at Target while living in Louisville, and it would be nice to be able to get some things to make my room and office at gyms feel more like home. To my surprise, the store was open. The glass doors opened as I approached. I grabbed a cart, excited to start shopping. I started in the cosmetics aisle, grabbing a few facial creams. I quickly noticed something unusual. There seemed to be no one else in the store. I didn't see any customers or employees. I figured maybe they were just short-staffed and not busy this time of night. I also noticed that there was no music playing overhead. Oh my god, it was quiet. The only sound I could hear was the light buzzing of the fluorescent lights. I continued to walk through the aisles and make my way to home decor. I saw a cute storage ottoman, and that would be a great fit for my room. When I picked up the box, I noticed it was covered in a thick layer of dust. I coughed. I glanced around and noticed a few items similarly covered. I continued with my shopping, albeit slightly annoyed at the dust. I was looking at some containers on a lower shelf when I noticed black shoe prints on the ground. This place wasn't very clean for a Target, but I shrugged it off. I would need to get used to things being different here. I remembered that Jim had mentioned needing some more ibuprofen, so I decided to take a look at the medical aisle. I was grabbing a box of ibuprofen when I noticed a row of nebulizers. Is it nebulizer? I don't know how to read it. Oh well. While I wasn't surprised to see this in the medical aisle, I was shocked at how many types they had and how much of the shelving they took up. The first few rows consisted of ones I'd seen before when my mom was in the hospital. But as I glanced down, I noticed more unusual looking medical devices. They looked vaguely familiar, like maybe I'd seen them before in an antique store. Some looked brand new, while others were rusted and covered in dust. I also noticed a bunch of oxygen tanks further down the aisle. Like the nebulizers, some looked brand new, while others looked like they were decades old and worn. Nothing in here made sense. Why would a Target have all of these oxygen tanks and vintage medical supplies? Was it even safe to store the oxygen like this? I paused and picked one of the older looking breathing machines up. As I tilted it back, liquid spilled out. I dropped it and wiped my hand on my pants, cussing to myself. I started getting a bad feeling. I was in a strangely placed Target on the outskirts of my hometown that appeared to have no one else in it, but did stock storage items that don't belong in a Target. I started to wonder if maybe the store was abandoned. I contemplated abandoning my cart and leaving the store, but as dumb as it sounds, I hadn't been able to buy anything special for myself in a long time, and I was really hoping to get what I came in for. I made my way up to the front and noticed there were no self-checkouts. I glanced around looking for an open checkout. The lights on each line were off, and I didn't see any workers. Hello? I called out hesitantly. There was no response. Yeah, because it's a cursed Target run. Oh my god, run. Some moth-eat clone. Oh no, liquids. Wait a minute. This isn't Target. This is it's a Kmart. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Why do I know how? Like, what do you mean? Why do I know what you mean? Okay, that's what I was meaning to say. I don't know, English very hard today. What is this SCP IKEA? Yeah, seriously. Okay. Sorry, back to the story. I was starting to walk back towards the doors when I noticed a worker. His back was turned, but I recognized the red shirt. Hey, I called out. He didn't answer and continued walking away. Feeling frustrated, I decided to head home. As I tried to leave, the glass doors stood still. I tried pulling them apart, but they wouldn't budge. My heart began to pound. I felt trapped, like a caged animal. I was stuck, alone, in this weird store that defied all common sense. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a clock. It was 10 p.m. on the dot. I started to reason with myself. Yes, the store's a little off compared to the Targets where I was from, but the doors are probably only locked because they close at 10, and maybe the employee was just wearing AirPods or had hearing issues. I started walking back through the store and saw the employee. His back was turned again, and he was walking ahead of me. I continued to try to call out to him, but no response. Finally, I got close enough and tapped him on the shoulder. He turned his head to reveal a blank canvas of skin with no facial features present. This person, or whatever it was, has no eyes, no mouth or nose. I jumped back in horror and ran. I ran further into the store, not stopping to look back. I couldn't believe how big the store was. I'd been running for so long without hitting a wall or seeing another exit, and the store appeared to go on indefinitely. I noticed that the light was becoming dimmer and dimmer as I went forward. It was almost in the dark by the time I stopped running. The setup machine the setup and merchandise of the store was becoming less and less familiar as I went further in. The aisles in the darker section of the store were filled with bags of coal, rusty-looking gas masks, and a variety of tools that looked decades old. I noticed that I was hearing faint noise, footsteps, and hushed voices. I glanced around to see that there were other people in the store. At first, I felt relieved, especially when I saw they had faces, unlike the employee. But then I noticed something was off. All of the people were covered head to toe in sort of black dust. They were also dressed in clothing that looked over 50 years old. Some wore gas masks. Others didn't. A few had headlamps. Oh no, it's miners. Oh my god. I knew coal mining was a big industry in West Virginia, but nothing here looked modern. One of the men turned to look at me. His eyes widened, and he began sprinting towards me, steel pick in hand. I ran but tripped, and he quickly caught up to me. He was hovering over me, and I was certain the pick would soon be crashing into my skull, when another man pushed him away and I took off. Oh, I bet your ass Chase is not... Oh, maybe not. Never mind. Okay. I thought Chase was like protecting her, but then I remembered like he was violent in the relationship, so I was just like, never mind. Okay. At this point, I was so deep in the store that it was pitch black. I saw people walking around but tried to avoid being noticed. I saw a faint light towards the back of the store. It was a cave with people surrounding it. The entrance glowed orange like a fire was lit. I hid behind a shelf and tried to figure out what they were looking at. Someone emerged from the cave, and an empty minecart followed in tow. A man walked up to it and began emptying huge bags into it, the contents of which crashed against the walls of the trolley. I could see the outline of the last few bits coming out of the bag. Bones. I stood there, frozen in terrified silence, watching this strange ritual play out. Little did I know, it would only get stranger. I heard loud footsteps, and the floor vibrated beneath my feet. I could see a shadow from within the cave. It appeared to be hunched over, as if it was too tall to stand up straight in the cave. As the figure emerged, I could see it was humanoid in shape and stature, but had a generous display of antlers. Oh, it's the devil. It's Satan. That's it. It's Satan. Or Goatman. I mean, Goatman could be Satan. Never mind. Okay, it was humanoid in shape and stature, but had a generous display of antlers. I remember Jim telling us kids legends about wendigos in the area. Oh, it's a wendigo. Oh, never mind. It's a wendigo. Oh, I thought, maybe Mothman is gonna come fight him. He claimed to have encountered one while hunting. I didn't believe him at the time, especially with his track record of telling tall tales. Or telltales, I guess. But there was nothing else that could describe what I was seeing. The wendigo let out what I can only describe as a demonic screech. It spoke in a low, distorted voice. "I need more," it yelled. I'm sorry, I apologize for not having a low, distorted demonic voice. But I will read it in my own voice. "I need more," it yelled. The man standing next to the trolley said something in a quiet voice that I couldn't make out. The wendigo lowered its head so it was eye level with the people standing there and snarled, causing a few of them to jump back. It then retreated back into the cave. "What the hell?" I whispered. Just then, a hand covered my mouth. I turned around and noticed it was the same man who pushed the guy who attacked me earlier. His skin was hot to the touch, almost burning my lips. I tried to scream, but he tightened his hand around my mouth. He whispered to me, "You need to stay quiet, or you're going to end up in that minecart. If you keep quiet, I will help you get out." Apprehensive, I nodded. He took his hands off. He glanced around and motioned for me to follow him. He pulled me off into the aisle as there were a lot of people walking back from the cave. "We need to give everyone a few minutes to clear out before looking for the way out," he said. There's a janitor's closet up front. "We need to make a beeline for it and stay as quiet as possible. Got that?" I nodded. We were able to get into the closet safely. The man lit up some archaic-looking lantern, and I was able to see his face for the first time. He looked to be late 20s and was covered in soot like the others. Despite his gritty appearance, he had kind-looking eyes. What is this place?" I asked, stammering. The man chuckled. "It's whatever you want it to be. For some, it's a bar. Others, a casino. Hell, I've even seen it to be a strip club." I gave him a confused look. "Look, I don't have time to go into all the fairy tales and lore behind this place, but it's basically the perfect storm of cryptids." Mothman. "But it's basically the perfect storm of cryptids and angry human spirits," he explained. "West Virginia hasn't treated its people so well for a long time and hasn't treated the environment much better. When you have hundreds of people dying an early and ugly death because of unsafe working conditions, their spirits tend to stick around. The cryptids weren't happy with their land being invaded either, so we teamed up and here we are. The cryptids require so many human sacrifices each year in order to maintain their alliance with the human spirits. The human spirits are happy to pitch in because most here are full of rage and want revenge on the people living now for enjoying the fruits of their labor." I stared at him. Yes, English so hard. What does Mothman do in the strip club? Hey, Mothman dances in the strip club, okay? He has the butt for it. He's got the perfect butt for it, so I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. I stared at him. My name's Jesus. I can't get back into it. "My name's Andy, by the way," he said casually. "So this place is like a life trap for humans?" I asked. Andy nodded. "Pretty much. People who happen to pass by see something that would draw them in, like moths to a porch light." I felt embarrassed. I fell for thinking a target would be in the middle of nowhere. "Were you a coal miner?" I asked, trying to wrap my head around this. Andy nodded. "Yeah. I died way before you were ever born." "Was it a collapse?" I asked. "No, it was lung complication," he responded. "Wait, so if all the human spirits here are angry and need sacrifices, why are you helping me?" I asked. Andy shrugged. It's all starting to lose its luster for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm angry I died so young. Especially because my daughter wasn't even 2 yet. Oh, it's her father! Oh wait, it's her father! I bet your ass it's her dad. Because my daughter wasn't even 2 yet. But making other people suffer a worse fate isn't gonna change how my life turned out. When it's just drunken assholes walking in here hoping to cheat on their wife, I don't feel so bad, but you look like you have your whole life ahead of you. Andy and I talked for a while, waiting for the others to clear out. Andy told me that once daylight hits, the target will disappear. If I'm not on the outside, I'll be stuck hiding here until I'm caught and sacrificed. At some point in the night, I heard a distant scream. It was definitely a human being killed. I could tell Andy tried his best to act like he didn't hear it and to distract me, but I knew what I heard. About an hour after we got to the closet, Andy opened the door and looked around. "It looks like the coast is clear," he said, smiling. "But where's the way out? The door was locked." "You have to go out the same way you came in. The laws of reality still apply to the door you entered, though. So if it was locked, we need to break it or pry it open." "Okay," I answered hesitantly. Wait, when will Mothman show up? I want to see the fight versus Wendigo. I don't know, maybe the Mothman will show up last minute, like swoop in and, you know, Wendigo is gonna attack them and Mothman will just like butt punch them. Andy and I carefully began making our way to the front of the store. Andy grabbed a crowbar off a nearby shelf. Once we were up front, he began prying the door open. The sound of a security system blared the second it opened. Before I could leave the store, someone grabbed me from behind. It was one of the many human spirits. They all came running when they heard the security system. They began surrounding me. The one who grabbed me, a large, gruff-looking man wearing overalls and covered in soot, began to strangle me. I tried to fight myself free, but it was no use. I felt the breath leaving my lungs and began to feel dizzy. Just as I was accepting my fate, a familiar face emerged from the crowd. Andy hit the man, holding me in the face with a crowbar, bloodying his mouth, then yanked me towards the door. The others attempted to grab me, and one tried to grab my arm, and I clawed and bit him until he let go. As Andy and I got closer to the slightly open door, the spirits began pushing us up against the glass. It felt like I was being crushed. Andy managed to make enough room to move me closer to the door. The crowbar had fallen during the struggle, and I couldn't reach it. I was going to be crushed if it didn't get this door open. I pulled at it for what felt like forever, my fingernails breaking off and bleeding in the process. When it finally opened enough for me to skip out and ran out, I turned back to see the others were angrily turning on Andy. "Adelia, take this and give it to my daughter," he yelled and tossed a worn envelope out the door. I inched back towards him. "I'm gonna help you, Andy," I said. "No," he screamed. "Just make sure my daughter gets this envelope." I hesitated, then grabbed it and ran to my car. I peeled out of there and was quickly back on the road. I was shaking and hyperventilating the entire drive. It was daybreak by the time I made my way home. Still in the driveway, I looked at the envelope. It was heavy. The outside had a name. The ink was so faded I could barely see it. "Josie Race," I read. On the inside, there was an old-looking watch. I looked it over for a few minutes. Just then, there was a tap on my window. I jumped. It was Jim. Oh, also, Jay the Real McCoy, thank you so much for the donation. The door doesn't lead to the exit or Mothman. It leads to Mario Party. Oh my god. Sure, it leads to Mario Party. Sure it does. Oh my god. That's pretty good. Also, my mouse is like on the screen. Yay. Wait, let me just like... Do not capture the cursor because why? Why would you? Why? Why? Hey. Hi. Why? Never mind. Why did it disappear? Oh! Why do you do this to me? Why? Why? No. Okay. Ah! Cool. We will never know what happened. Okay, let me just finish this story without the text on the screen, and then I'm gonna fix it. I jumped. It was Jim. "Good God, Jim, you scared me," I gasped as I got out of the car. He looked concerned. Where were you? You look like hell. I shook my head. It's a long story. I went shopping, but I got lost. You look like you've seen a ghost, he said. I saw something, that's for sure. Jim gave me a knowing look. You know, I've seen a lot of living here all these years. I was kind of glad when you moved away, thinking maybe you'd be spared some of the strangeness that comes along within living here. But there's more good here than bad. There's so many good people around here that would literally give you the shirt off their back. I guess what I'm trying to say is when a beautiful landscape and caring, hardworking people are exploited year after year, things start getting weird. The politicians who line their pockets may not be keeping score, but Mother Nature is supernatural force. But Mother Nature is supernatural forces too. I nodded. Jim, do you know someone named Josie Race? I asked. Yeah, she plays poker here every Saturday, he responded, looking curious. I have something I need to give her, I told him. The end! The end! Will we ever see the Mothman versus Wendigo fight? Tune in next time on. Hey. Hey. Wait, I need to like, what the frick is happening? Why? Oh wait, I need to like, why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me, my stream? Why? Wait, because I got it, but like, why? Particular window, come on. Oh, that's it. This is it. Apologies for a little scuff, as per usual. Nothing different here. Why is it like so weird? Okay. Well, that's how it is. And this story was obviously like, it was called if you see a Target store in rural Appalachia, keep driving, yeah. And then the next one, this was actually submitted by Katsuya, and then the next one is by Eric. Well, I mean, it was submitted by Eric Verastegi, like sent to me, and it says, "I've always loved my true crime." Oh fuck, what the fuck is happening? Why? Boy. I've always loved my true crime podcasts between solving mysteries and connecting with my audience. It's also a great alibi for why I'm so invested in all the cases, plus farming people is so much easier. This was actually submitted to short scary story. Cause why not? Wait, let me just like make sure that I have all of them here. FEARSONA, back at it again. Hey, I mean, Scuff is always here, you know. I love that really like short story. It was like, oh, 2-sentence horror. It was just, yeah. I've always loved my true crime podcasts between solving mysteries and connecting with my audience. It's also a great alibi for why I'm so invested in all the cases. Plus, farming people is so much easier. Oh boy. West Virginia, country. West Virginia, country road. Take me home. Sona, is this you? Yes, it is me. Hello. Hi. Why? Why? Did I do something? Why? That says farming. Framing! Oh, framing, not farming! Ah! Oh my god! Framing. Yes, it says framing. I know. I'm just kidding with you. I'm just kidding. I totally did not misread it. This was on purpose. This was all planned. I was just checking if you guys are paying attention, if you guys are reading it too, you know. Gotcha. I love 2-sentence horror stories. I know, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like 2-sentence ones are just so scary. Sometimes they can be so scary, so much scarier than like normal stories. Oh, Sona, no, wait, I swear to God, this was just a test. You guys have passed, you know. That's some tabs you got. Yeah, I know. There's like stuff. Yeah, tabs, karaoke, and all that stuff. Okay. Okay. It's all according to the plan. Everything is according to the plan. What do you think? What do you take me for? Okay, the scuff. Everything according to the plan. Part of the plan. The heavy rain. Part of the plan. The other day when it was like the rain sound was like louder than my microphone. Part of the plan. You guys need to, you know, catch up. Need to be, you know. Never mind. Misreads are funny when it comes to popular people. Yay! Hey, farming people makes sense, okay? It made sense in this story. Because it also, if you think about it, it did make sense anyway, because farming people. So like this person is, you know, like connecting with the community and meeting up with their fans to farm them, as in next victim. My brain feels like mush. Everybody's brain feels like mush sometimes, okay? This time of the day, come on. Sona, a test? Really? Yes, it was a test. Farming people didn't know that was a thing. In my dictionary, it's a thing, okay? It's always gonna be a thing. In my when it comes from me, from my dictionary, anything that sounds ridiculous, it is a thing, okay? Yeah, framing people is great, but farming people is also enjoyable. See, Diggly Diggles knows what's going on, okay? Alrighty, let's go to the next story, which is called There's a Secret Number. Wait, oh, yeah. There's a secret number you can text to find out your death date. So let me read it. Mind you, if there's gonna be a donation in the middle of the story, I'm just gonna read it at the end. So like after the story, I don't want to break the immersion. I do have sometimes like comments during the story, but I'm just gonna try to, you know, like first read the story and then read the super chat. So just, or, you know, or send it when I'm like taking a short break in the middle of the story. That's fine. Okay, and Jaden, hi. Hi, welcome. Okay. All of us texted it. My brother, June, his wife May, our cousin Clara and Phil, and their partners, and me, the only single among the couples at our backyard barbecue. I was turning the dogs on the grill when June brought it up, claiming to have overheard some of the tech bros at work discussing it. You just text, "What is my death date?" and it will tell you when you're going to die. No way, gasped cousin Clara. You're shitting me. Creepy. May rubbed her arms and shivered. Bullshit, I called. June's been a champion bullshitter since we were little. When he met May, whose name I like to think is short for Mayhem, the two of them hit it off like firecrackers, each trying to one-up the other with their shenanigans. Pranks that ran from the harmless, like May making caramel onions instead of apples, to the elaborate, like the week I found roaches all over my apartment, even falling on me from the shower head. Oh my god, why? Why would you do this to someone? Don't ever do this to someone, come on. Ew, now I hate roaches. Jesus. June sniffed out a receipt for plastic roaches. Okay, it's plastic roaches. Woof. June sniffed out a receipt for plastic roaches on May's credit card and convinced me to get her back with a live centipede. Oh my god, centipede, which I put in a cup and handed to her. Okay, at least it was just, you know, they're cooking dogs, hot dogs, I assume, which I put in a cup and not the dog, the centipede, and handed to her. Not until she screamed and flung the centipede back at me did June's maniacal cackling finally clue me in that he'd played us both. So this death date business? Yeah, classic June bullshit. He was showing off his phone screen. His death date was tomorrow. In rapid succession, the others all texted the number. So I went ahead and joined, even though it was a stupid prank, and not even one of his better ones. We compared responses. Me, 9:49 p.m., May 15th, 2023. Clara, 11:16 a.m., June 5th, 2040. Howie, 1:19 p.m., March 11th, 2027. Phil, 6:44 a.m., October 3rd, 2063. Ira, 6:53 p.m., November 7th, 2029. May, 9:45 p.m., June 11th, 2023. And June, 10:53 a.m., May 12th, 2023. Tomorrow was June's, coincidentally, on his birthday. May and Clara were freaking out. They kept asking, was he scared? Wasn't he worried? Phil jokingly... Wait, May? June? Okay. They're gonna die in an accident or something. Okay. May and Clara were freaking out. They kept asking, was he scared? Wasn't he worried? Phil jokingly suggested he should lock himself up indoors and make sure to not go out anywhere, etc. Of course, June made a big production of it, texting updates all through the morning of his birthday. And then, after 10:53 a.m., nothing. June's text just stopped. It was, of course, all completely fucking staged. Just as cousin Clara dragged in our parents, who then called me and insisted I go check on my brother, and honey, we know it's just June being June, but go make sure. He finally sent a video thanking everyone for the birthday wishes and exclaiming about how he'd see us all soon to celebrate his birth, not his death. And also how he'd gotten messages from mom and dad and so many people, and how funny it spread so far. Even his boss had called. Sometimes I wanted to strangle my little brother. So anyway, we all agreed later at his birthday party that no one was fooled, and asked who were we actually texting. Turns out we'd been texting Aisha, a girl he'd met and was planning to set me up with. Nice of him, though. Though these kinds of dates rarely worked in my favor. So I added the number to my contacts and then messaged her. Hey, death date girl. Aisha, right? So my little bro dragged you into one of his evil schemes. Aisha, 9:49 p.m., May 15, 2023. Lol. LOL, good one, but he already came clean. 9:49 p.m., May 15, 2023. I frowned as I noticed something that I hadn't the first time around. I showed the group my phone. Guys, I don't think this is Aisha. General scoffs all around, because of course they thought I was kidding. But then I opened the contact so they could see the number. Turns out I'd been one digit off this whole time. Everyone else had been messaging Aisha and getting made-up death dates from her. But I'd messaged someone else. When they realized this, the group sobered up. Well, who did you text then? June snatched my phone, eyes bright with curiosity. I have no idea. Ask them who they are, suggested cousin Clara. So I did. And again, the same response. 9:49 p.m., May 15th, 2023. Ooh, let me try. May tapped the mystery number into her phone and whizzed off a text, and almost immediately a bell chimed with a response. 12:33 a.m., May 15th, 2023. Oh my god, you guys, chills, squealed Clara. That is creepy. May I June. That's how you do a death date prank. Did you set this up? June asked her. No, I swear. All right, that's enough death dates, declared our dad. He and mom could only suffer so much of our antics. The conversation was dropped. As I was heading... Okay, listen, I have a problem. Pause. Short pause, because I have a problem. Is it, enough of someone's antics or antiques? Or which one is it? Antiques are the old things, and antics are someone's like the shenanigans. I don't know how to read it. Anyway, okay. Whew. Alright, back to the story. me and my pronunciation, yes. I've got some bad premonitions coming to me. Yep, that's gonna be, I'm pretty sure this, first one. Okay, antics, okay. Yeah, okay. So it's antics, not antiques. Because antiques are old things, right? So antics. Any antics can have bad taste. It's antiques. Wait. Okay. It's antics, right? It's antics. Can I have a yes? Can I have a thumbs up? Can I have, if it's antics, then thumbs up. If it's not antics, then thumbs down. I don't fucking know. Is it antics or antiques? It's antics, right? I don't. Confused. Confusion through the roof. Okay. So, yeah, you're right. Okay, good. Back to the story. All right, that's enough death dates, declared our dad. He and mom could only suffer so much of our antics. The conversation was dropped. As I was heading back home later, June approached me. He seemed annoyed, convinced either I or someone else was copying his idea, which he claimed wasn't funny since he'd already done it. Apparently, he really wanted to know who was behind it. I told him I had no clue. But just his asking set a cold pin of anxiety in my brain. After all, if it wasn't someone in our family group, whose number was that? Imagining some stranger texting back sent icy fingers tracing the flesh of my neck. June grumbled that it was probably May, then smiled and encouraged me to give Aisha a ring. Try to be cool, he said, and less of a stick in the mud. I think the word you're looking for is responsible, I suggested. Serious, mature, all synonyms for boring? I flipped him the bird, and then I forgot about the whole death date thing for a few days. I didn't even remember it until today when I went to message Aisha and got the same response. 9:49 p.m., May 15, 2023. Shit. I'd forgotten to delete this death date number from my contacts after putting her name in. I did so now. I was about to message the real Aisha when curiosity brought me back to the death date number again, now just coming up as unknown on my phone. I messaged. Who is this? 9:49 p.m., May 15, 2023. May? 9:49 p.m., May 15, 2023. Fuck it. I borrowed a coworker's phone, asking if I could send a quick text since mine was dead. A white lie. Sometimes I could be as sneaky as June. And sent to the same number the original question again. When is my death date? Unknown. 9:49 p.m., May 15, 2023. Fuck. The hairs on the back of my neck prickled. I love how I was just like, fuck. How the hell had this number responded with the same exact date and time to a completely different phone? The sudden, icy grip of fear was impossible to ignore. I called June, but it went to voicemail. Moments later, my phone buzzed. Work? Question mark. I sent a rapid series of texts explaining. June, 1 second. June, I got 9:42 p.m., May 15, 2023. Probably May. LOL. A few hours later, June met me at my townhouse. He told me flatly that he couldn't figure out who owned the number. And it struck me that, given he works at a tech company, he'd probably tried all sorts of tricks to track it down. Annoying as he could be, he is incredibly smart. The fact he hadn't figured out where it came from made the knot in my gut tighten. A horrible dread settled over me. I'm sure it's just May. She's been out all day and hasn't been responding to any of my texts. Bet she set this whole thing up to freak us out. June spoke casually, rolling his eyes. He didn't like to admit when something got under his skin, ever. But having grown up with him, I could spot it in the tension around his eyes, the way his smile didn't reach them. I called May's phone, straight to voicemail. She's at a show with Clara and her mom, June said. Been going on about it all week. No coincidence, the show ends just a half hour before our death date. Oh no! Give her enough time to rush over here to scare us. It's part of this whole thing. Trust me. She will be here soon. And then he grinned, pointing at my laptop. You are typing this all up? I started typing this earlier this afternoon, documenting it in case, well, just in case. That's great. Oh, I know some people who you can send it to. You know, make it viral. Zero interest, I said. He rolled his eyes. It's like you don't even want a girlfriend. 9:39. Still no answer from May. Suddenly, my phone vibrated. June always kept his on silent, but his eyes darted to it when the screen lit up. He blinked. He showed it to me. We both had the same text. Unknown. Knock, knock. Downstairs from the front door of the townhouse came knocking. June jumped. Oh, he nodded. May is good. I take it back. She's giving us a good scare. I was too freaked out to say anything. I just really hoped it was May. June shouted. May, is that you? There was tension in his frame as he called again. Then he put his phone to his ear and snickered. I heard it too. A tinkling sound of bells from somewhere just outside the door. May's ringtone. She was outside. June pulled the phone from his ear and called out. Caught you, May. We know it's you. He smirked at me. Be back in a sec, he said and hurried down. My phone buzzed again. Knock, knock. From downstairs, the click of the front door latch. I looked at the time on my phone. 9:41. June's time was almost up. May really did plan it all perfectly, so she could arrive right when he was supposed to meet his end. I heard June calling out the front door for May, probably hiding somewhere to pounce on him. A moment later, I heard the scuff of him putting his shoes on and stepping outside. My phone buzzed. June, be back in a sec. I was about to close the browser. This browser with the window open to the account I'd been documenting all of this, when my phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't June or the unknown number. It was cousin Clara. Clara. Hey, have you heard from May? Me. Yeah, why? Clara. Oh, thank goodness. She was supposed to meet me and Mom. The big show? We got really worried. All of our calls went to voicemail. Can you ask her why she didn't come? The show. June had mentioned the show, too. And now I remembered May talking about that show at the barbecue. How she'd spent weeks trying to get those tickets. And she'd missed it? A sudden sickness twisted in my stomach. The dread dialing up from a tingle to a horrid lurch, like the floor had just been ripped from under me. I hollered, June, did you find her? My phone buzzed. June. Knock, knock. The rapping on the door was so loud, I jumped. It wasn't down the steps at the front of the building, but right outside my living room door. I hadn't heard any footsteps come up the stairs. Hello? I said. Let us in, called June. Relief flooded me at the sound of his voice. I got up from my laptop and reached for the knob. I don't know why I hesitated. Suddenly. The feeling of dread was like a noose being pulled around my neck, cutting off the air. A warning. Some primitive instinct. Why hadn't there been footsteps? I called June's phone. It rang for a while, then went to voicemail. Why aren't you answering your phone? I asked. Silence. Then June's voice. Near enough that it was clear there was only the wooden door between us. Because I'm right outside the door? How do I know it's you? His refusal to answer his phone stuck in my mind like a chicken bone caught in my throat. The explosion of my phone's ringtone made me jump. I picked up the call and June's voice said into my ear. Happy now? Yes, I said, relieved. Knock knock, he said, and I could almost hear his smile. Let us in. No. Bro, June sounded annoyed. My phone buzzed. Sad face. I quickly tapped back. After 9:50 p.m. And another sad face from June. He knocked on the door. Let us in, he added. You're being ridiculous, bro. He banged on the door. Just open the door, it's us. Where's May? I shot back. A long pause. Still no rustling or footsteps or any other human sounds. Then May's sing-song voice. Open the door. In 5 minutes, I said. It was 9:45. You seriously want us to just stand here in your hallway for 5 minutes? Snapped June. Come on! Let us in, chimed May. Let us in, thundered June. But the more they demanded I open the door, the more my pulse raced and my hands slicked with sweat. Why did it matter so much? What was 5 minutes? Sometimes with siblings you get in these power struggles. That was what this felt like. Like maybe it was just June trying to make me do things his way, annoyed with me trying to control him. Only I wasn't trying to control him or May. I was genuinely afraid. And I refused to open the door. The shouting and pleading continued, and my phone suddenly began vibrating so much I had to snatch it up to prevent it falling off the desk. The texts were coming non-stop at the door, and as the door kept rattling. Knock knock, knock knock, knock knock, knock knock, knock knock. At 9:49 p.m., the sounds suddenly ceased. I waited several minutes, frozen in terror, and finally went to the door, hands trembling. Wrapped my fingers around the knob, opened it. There was nobody in the hallway, only a few dirty tracks. Strange. June always removed his shoes before coming up. The front door was wide open, a cool breeze blowing in. I wandered down and peeked outside, then closed it. Maybe they were in it together. Maybe they were pulling some elaborate prank, like with the cockroaches. I went back upstairs and called June's phone again, hoping he would pick up, but there was no answer. I called and called. Nothing. I was just about to go out and look for him again when I noticed something face down on the sofa. June's phone. He must have left it in my living room when he went down to get May. I picked it up and saw my missed calls, as well as a bunch of texts from Clara asking about May and the show. He knew May was missing before he arrived. That explained why he was so tense. But he didn't want to admit it, thinking she was just one-upping him on his prank. That also explained why he'd been so relieved, in such a hurry to go meet her, when he'd heard her ringtone. I also checked his text history. None of his knock-knock messages after he left came from his phone. It's now near 10:30 according to the analog clock on my bookshelf. And I am freaked out because my phone and laptop are both frozen at 9:49 p.m. and have been for the past half hour. I tried calling mom, tried calling dad or cousin Clara or anybody, but the line is busy. No matter who I ring, it's busy. And my laptop, like all the frozen technology, isn't working. Luckily, I can still type in the window that's already open. So that's what I've been doing, documenting, praying I'll be able to post this and get help. My phone just buzzed. June. Knock, knock. And now the phone slips out of my fingers and icy claws rake down my spine because the knocking came from inside the room, and suddenly I remember how I peeked out the door earlier before I realized the clocks were frozen. The clocks were frozen and words are now flashing across my laptop and on their own as fast as I can think them. And let me finish typing for you as June's voice chuckles like he always did when he landed a really good prank back when he was alive, and he whispers right in my ear, "Hey, thanks for letting me in." Oh! Ah! Oh my god. Yeah, stuck in time. Well, I mean... Yeah, that's scary. Ah! So scary. Thanks for letting me in, Sona. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I let you into the stream. Yay. Okay, and then... This one comes from Short Scary Stories, and it was sent to me by Eric Verastigi. So thank you, Eric, again. Okay. Okay. Just a short break. Where's my... Shit, I didn't get a drink. Fuck. Oh well. Man, that previous one... Yeah, that previous one was just terrible because it was like so scary. Man, it was so scary. And the person actually did open the door, and yeah, they are stuck in time, or they're gonna be dead, or I don't know. What happened to her? I'm probably stuck in time or already dead and kind of in the afterlife that is pretty much hell, or some kind of, I don't know, like some kind of you know, alternate reality, or yeah, like the afterlife, but where you are basically stuck in time or something. Oh, if it's me, I'ma keep it real. I'ma beat him up. No, seriously, I would just stay in my room for like, I don't know, forever. Never let in death. He never lives until you do. Still wondering why they didn't call the police. Yeah, that's true. Like, why didn't you call the police immediately? Also, why did you text that number? I don't wanna know. Even if someone offered, like, even if this actually happened in my friend group or something, like, oh, someone just, oh, I found this website, or I found this phone number that allegedly sends you your date of birth. I am not doing that. I'll be like, you know what? I don't want to know. I don't, you know, let it be a surprise, you know? I like surprises. These hands are rated E for everyone. I'ma dip these hands in holy water. Dip the hands in holy water for demons. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so the next one is from Short Scary Stories, and the title is True Crime Loser. Okay. He'd conducted thousands of interrogations in his 20 years on the job, but this one still felt different. Awaiting him in the room sat a petite teenage girl, still saturated in blood from the grisly crime scene discovered earlier. She was picked up by police while holding a bent knife mere yards away from a body so brutalized and deformed that dental records would be needed to identify. Before turning the knob, the detective mentally prepared the best strategy. He powered down his phone as to avoid the flurry of texts and calls from his nagging wife. The marriage had been on the rocks for some time, and he didn't have the energy nor patience to explain why he would be missing the recently implemented family game night for work again. He introduced himself to the suspect simply as Glenn. He never went by professional name in interrogations, as a first name basis helps to build a rapport and puts the suspect more at ease. He began with the usual small talk, but got silence. He tried the ego up technique, and by expressing that the suspect must have been justified to commit such a heinous crime, self-defense perhaps. Crickets. He raised his voice and threatened severe consequences if she didn't talk. Nothing. The girl was a brick wall. Then, the detective did something that he hadn't done before. He began to vent. At first, it was a means to get the girl to open up. But soon it was simply therapeutic for himself. He spoke aloud about his rough upbringing. He talked about his family, failing marriage, his abysmal record as a father, and not being there for his daughter. Then he began to cry. It's as if the floodgates had opened and he couldn't hold back. What? Oh, also, I'm sorry, just breaking the story here, but Fat Cat, thank you so much for being a member for 5 months. Yeah. Okay. Let me just... Okay. Back to the story. Yes. In the moment, he had forgotten where he was or who he was in. Where he was or who he was with. He just laid his head on the table and wept like never before. Suddenly he felt a touch. Then a full embrace. He glanced up through tears to see the girl now hugging him. Tears streaming down her face as well. Without even thinking, he hugged her back. Then the girl began to open up. She gave her name, told of her abusive household, having no friends, and being bullied at school. She was just about to discuss the crime itself when he stopped her. For the first time in his career, he didn't want the suspect to incriminate themselves. He told her to seek counsel, but she insisted that she needed to confess, to release this burden from within. But Glenn wasn't having it. He turned off the recording device and told her the interview had concluded. He gave the girl one last hug and turned to exit when he heard her voice squeak out. Becky Lang. That was her name. Detective Lang went numb as he locked the door and turned back around. What? Wait. Oh, what? Wait, Becky Lang? Was that his wife? Wait a minute. Oh, I think that was his wife. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no. It is pretty creepy. But, oh, shit. I think that was his wife. Or, oh, shit. Shoot. Crap. Why is it so scary? Why does it have to be so scary? Yeah. Becky Lang, that was her name. I think it was his wife that the girl killed. Was the girl his daughter? Wait. Was the girl his daughter? Did I miss it? Wait, what? Oh no, the daughter! Oh, the daughter! Oh, it wasn't the wife, it was the daughter. Oh yeah, oh. Oh, yeah, that was, oh yeah, God. No. Okay, so the little girl, wait, was it? Wait, okay. Let me see. Then the girl began to open up. She gave her name, told of her abusive household, having no friends and being bullied at school. And she was just about to discuss the crime itself when he stopped her. She's his daughter. No, but like, but she told him her name. Okay, I'm confused. Confused. I'm so confused. What a twist! So much twist that, so twisted that we were confused. It confused us. Yeah. Okay, next up. Next story. So confused. Okay, so next one is called "If you find a wasp's nest that beats like a human heart, leave it well the fuck alone." I never used to be scared of wasps. I was never a bug fan per se, but they definitely weren't on my nope list. Funny how much changes in a week, ain't it? My opinion on wasps turned from ambivalent to aggressively negative about 7 days ago. It was a sweltering summer day, and my friend, Jack, and I were trekking through the dense woods of Marathon County. Sure. The sun beat down on us mercilessly, and sweat dripped down our foreheads and backs. The hiking trail was treacherous, with steep inclines and rocky terrain, but we were determined to reach our destination. Go hard or go home, Jack had said. Hiking wasn't really my bag, you know, but I could never really say no to him. We had been walking for what felt like hours, our legs aching and our throats parched, when we stumbled upon a small clearing. As we stepped into the clearing, a sudden stillness enveloped us. The usual sounds of the woods, the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves, had all but vanished. In their place was deafening silence that made me feel uneasy. The air seemed thick with an unspoken tension, and I couldn't shake off the feeling that we were intruding upon something sacred. I scanned the clearing, searching for the source of my unease, and my gaze settled on the wasp's nest, suspended from the singular branch of an otherwise limbless tree. It was a particular sight, unlike any wasp's nest I had ever seen before. The nest was abnormally large, with intricate patterns etched into its papery surface. The wasps buzzed around it with a frenzied energy, darting in and out of the nest's open entrances. The sight of it was mesmerizing, yet unnerving at the same time. It hung there like a giant pulsating heart, its papery surface shimmering in the sunlight. The wasp's frenzied buzzing grew louder, almost as if they were trying to warn us away. But it wasn't just the wasp's nest that made the clearing seem eerie. The trees surrounding it were twisted and gnarled, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The grass beneath our feet was brown and withered, as if it had been drained of life. And in the distance, I could see a thick mist rising from the ground, obscuring everything beyond. I turned to Jack and saw that he too was feeling the same sense of unease. We exchanged a wordless glance, both of us unsure of what to do next. Should we press on or turn back? The decision hung heavy in the air, like a weight that we both shared. But as I looked back at the wasp's nest, I saw that the wasps had formed a circle around it, their buzzing growing louder and more insistent. It was as if they were daring us to come closer, and I couldn't help but wonder, what would happen if we did? Do not approach a wasp's nest. Not because this one is cursed. Do not approach any wasp's nest, okay? Unless you're a professional with professional equipment, please do not play with wasps because you're gonna die, probably. I don't know. I mean, you know, they are pretty aggressive, so turn the hell back. Yeah, indeed, Project Matrix is, you know, right about that one. Okay, great. You know, now that we've established that we do not play with wasps and any other poisonous insects, venomous insects, come closer, I dare you. No. No, do not ever play with wasps or tarantulas or, you know, snakes or whatever. Whatever is venomous. Just don't. I'll play with a wasp's nest. Please don't. Please don't. Please do not do that. But the honey, what honey? What honey? Wasps do not make honey. What? What? Wait, aren't you mistaking it for bees? Those are not bees. Those are very unfriendly bees. Okay. The decision hung heavy in the air, like a weight that we both shared. But as I looked back at the wasp's nest, I saw that the wasp had formed circle around it, their buzzing growing louder and more insistent. It was as if they were daring us to come closer. And I couldn't help but wonder, what would happen if we did? You're gonna die. Apparently, Jack had been wondering too, although unfortunately we came to different conclusions about how to proceed. Jack, always fascinated by insects, approached the nest to get a better look. I cautioned him to stay back, but he was too entranced by the wasp's activity to heed my warning. As he drew closer, a single wasp flew out of the nest and stung him on the hand. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. A sharp cry of pain escaped his lips as he recoiled from the sting, frantically brushing the wasp away. I felt a pang of regret in my chest, knowing that I should have insisted we move on when we first saw the wasp's nest. I should have known better than to let Jack get so close to such a dangerous creature. Yeah, hence my warning. But the regret was fleeting, quickly replaced by a sense of dread and unease. A lot of unease. A lot of unease in this story. Honey wasps do exist. Oh, they do? Oh, I thought wasps just didn't make honey. I don't know. I'm not an expert on insects, okay? That's not part of my job. That's not in my resume. Okay. Okay, I got lost. Fuck. Okay, the wasp's nest was not like any I had ever seen before. There was something oh my god, difficult word. There was something worldly. Oh my god, I am having technical difficulties. Apologies. Okay. There was something otherworldly about it. Something that sent shivers down my spine. Also, Greeny plays hello. Hi. Something that sent shivers down my spine. I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was, but I knew that we needed to leave, and quickly. Jack's hand was already swelling from the sting, and I feared that there were more wasps lurking in the shadows, waiting to attack. We hurried away from the clearing, our hearts pounding with fear and adrenaline. As we walked, I couldn't shake the feeling that we had stumbled upon something far more sinister than a simple wasp's nest. Wasp's nest. Damn! Wasp is also such a difficult word. Okay, not wasp, but like wasps. Wasps. Yes. But I kept my thoughts to myself, not wanting to alarm Jack any further. We had to get out of the woods, and fast. At first, Jack brushed off the wasp's sting as nothing more than a minor inconvenience. We were on a hike, after all, and a few bites and stings were to be expected. But once we returned to our shared apartment and the days wore on, it became clear that something was wrong. It started with a small bump on the back of Jack's hand, right where the wasp had stung him. We both noticed it, but neither of us were particularly concerned. However, over the course of the following week, the bump quickly grew into a grotesque, red, swollen lump that was hot to the touch. Oh no! Oh no! Oh! He's growing a wasp nest. I'm telling you, it's gonna be another wasp nest, and the previous one was actually a heart or another human being. Oh Jesus Christ! Okay, yep. Jack is turning into a wasp nest. Okay, Jack's skin around the sting site began to darken and take on a sickly purple hue. It looked almost as if the wasp's venom was spreading through his body like a poison, and the sight of it made my stomach turn. Jack complained of a burning sensation and intense itching that made him want to claw his own skin off. Despite my urgings, Jack adamantly refused to see a Why? Why? Okay, why would you refuse to see a doctor? I don't understand. Like, why? 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 Just why? Just see a doctor. Go to the hospital immediately. This is something serious. This is not a wasp bite. It's a lump. It's a hot lump that keeps itching and it's turning purple. It's turning colors. Seek medical attention right away. But of course not, because it's a scary story, and also Jack is stupid. Okay, so despite my urgings, Jack adamantly refused to see a doctor because he's a stubborn idiot and he gonna die. He insisted that he could handle it. He could not. That it was just a minor irritation. It was not. And it would go away on its own. It would not. But things only got worse from there. Because of course they did. The swelling continued to spread, taking over his hand and creeping up his arm. Oh my god, can you call 911? Can you go to the doctor? Can you call 911? What is happening? Why is this person so stupid? Also, Bamukero, hello, welcome. I'm glad I caught this stream in time. Hey, we're reading a scary story about a wasp nest and irresponsible behavior from Jack, who was stung by said wasp and is refusing to go to the hospital because he is, in fact, an idiot. Cut the limb off, seriously. By now it would be like, yeah, that's how it would be. They would just like have to cut it off, I think. Okay. The swelling continued to spread, taking over his hand and creeping up his arm. His fingers became stiff and immobile. Oh my god. When are you going to... Oh my... No. Ah. Okay. Bruh, he dead. Oh, he dead. He absolutely dead. And the skin was so tight, it looked as if it might burst at any moment. I watched in horror as my friend slowly withered away before my eyes, his body becoming consumed by the venom of a single wasp sting. It was like something out of a horror movie, a grotesque and terrifying transformation that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, and it had barely gotten started. The wasp sting on Jack's hand was a nightmare that refused to end. The lump continued to grow and fester until it was the size of a golf ball. It was hard and painful to the touch, and Jack was unable to use his hand by the third or fourth day. He started to have fever and chills. When is he going to go to the hospital? And he was constantly scratching the lump, as if trying to dig out whatever was causing this torment. I begged him to go see a doctor, but he was too afraid of what they might find. Oh my god, then yeah, that's perfect. Be too afraid of what the doctor might tell you, so refuse to go to said doctor. Why are people like this? I mean, the scary part is that there are people like that. My grandpa being one example. Like, he was having some weird symptoms and he would refuse to go to the doctor because he's like, oh, it's gonna pass. And also he was afraid to actually like hear what the doctor had to say. And eventually he had to go to the doctor because it got bad, and it turns out that it was cancer. My grandpa is fine, by the way. He recovered. He had like chemo and everything, and he's alive and well. He was like building a garage the other day. Like, he's like literally in good condition. But had he waited longer, this would not be the case. So don't be like my grandpa, and don't be like Jack. Don't be stupid. Go to the doctor. I'm eating. Okay. Well, you're welcome. Okay, so I begged him to go to see a doctor, but he was too afraid of what they might find. He was convinced that it would just go away on its own. Case in point. See, that sounds so familiar. He was convinced that it would just go away on its own, that he could tough it out. But as the days went by, it was clear that the wasp sting was winning the battle. One night, We were watching TV in our apartment when I noticed something strange. There were small black dots on the surface of the lamp. They looked like tiny holes, and I could see something moving inside them. Oh my god, it's wasps. Wasps are inside, why? I pointed it out to Jack, and he immediately panicked. As we watched in horror, the holes grew larger and more numerous, until they covered the entire surface of the lamp. The skin around them was red and inflamed, and it looked as if something was trying to claw its way out from inside. The smell was putrid, like rotting flesh, and it made my stomach turn. Jack couldn't stop scratching at the lamp, digging his fingernails into the holes and trying to pull out whatever was inside. But it only made things worse. The holes grew deeper and wider, until they were gaping wounds that oozed pus and blood. Ew. And still, whatever was inside refused to come out. I pulled my phone out to call an ambulance, but he snarled, slapping it out of my hand and telling me to stop being a pussy. What is wrong with this guy? What is wrong with this guy? Oh my god, what a fucking idiot. Yeah, you're gonna die. That's what you get. Jack never usually spoke like that. I wish I hadn't been so shocked that I obeyed and sat back down. Okay, both of them, first of all, both of them are idiots. Jack is possessed by evil wasps, demon wasps, so I guess he has an excuse, but like the you know, the narrator, like what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Man up, call the ambulance. Like, Jesus, go walk away. Like, walk out of that house and call someone. Anyway, so Jack's desperation had reached a fever pitch, and he was no longer thinking rationally. He clawed at the lump until the pain made him vomit, but furiously refused to let me call an ambulance. I could see the fear in his eyes, and as he realized that this was a situation far beyond his control, and no amount of machismo could save him now. Unfortunately, his epiphany came far, far too late. Before Jack could form the words on his foaming lips, before he could U-turn and beg me to call an ambulance after all, the lump began to pulsate and writhe, as if something was trying to break free from within. And then, to my utter disbelief and terror, I saw something crawling out of the holes in the lump. Wasps. Dozens upon dozens of tiny, angry wasps. They were tiny at first, their wings buzzing frantically as they struggled to escape the confines of Jack's flesh. But they quickly grew in size as wave after wave escaped Jack and flew around the room, their bodies still slick with his blood and pus. I felt a scream rise in my throat, but it was quickly cut off by the sight of some of the wasps returning to Jack and burrowing back into the holes in the lump. It was like watching a grotesque cycle of birth and death, as the wasps emerged from Jack's hand only to be swallowed up by the festering mass once again. The smell in the room was putrid, a sickly sweat stench that made my eyes water and my stomach churn. The wasps continued to emerge and retreat from the lump, their buzzing wings filling the air with a low, ominous hum. And still, Jack couldn't express his regret that he'd refused to let me call for help, his eyes wild with fear and pain. For my part, I was too terrified to think rationally. It's easy reading this to say, yeah, nah, that's when you'd call someone. Oh, they know what we're doing. Busted. Not such an easy thing to do in the heightened emotions of the moment, believe me. I also wish the wasps were the end of it. They weren't though, not by a long shot. The lump swelled until it seemed as if it would burst at any moment. I could see the agony etched on Jack's face, his body writhing in pain and desperation. And all the while, the wasps continued to emerge and retreat, their bodies growing larger and more numerous with each passing minute. It was a horror show, a grotesque and twisted nightmare that defied explanation. And yet, as I watched the wasps emerge from Jack's hand, I couldn't help but feel a sick sense of fascination. What? Hey, please don't. This is terrible. It was like watching a train wreck. Fascinating. Something so horrific that I couldn't tear my eyes away. Okay, that's fair. I think that's fair. I think that's pretty fair. As I stood there in helpless horror, Jack's screams grew louder and more desperate. How much more desperate can they get? Like, I think I would pass out by then from pain and horror and just, yeah. I looked on in utter disbelief as more and more wasps, one by one, began to crawl out of his skin. At first, in my shock, I kept reassuring Jack that it was just a few, and oh my god, it was not just a few. Just few dozen. Few hundred. I kept reassuring Jack that it was just a few, and I thought that maybe we could brush them off and everything would be okay. But as the minutes ticked by and more wasps emerged, I couldn't even manage the looted platitudes. The air around us became thick with the buzzing of wings as the wasps poured out of Jack's body. Spasming now, gibbering non-words, like he was having a stroke, his body convulsing as he tried to rid himself of the biting, stinging insects. I wanted to help him. To do something, anything. But fear rooted me to the spot. I couldn't move. Couldn't even speak. And then the transformation began. Jack's skin, which had been purpled and bruised just moments before, began to change. It turned a sickly yellow color, and I could see it becoming hard and shiny, like the surface of a wasp's nest. It was as if his skin was turning into a shell, a cocoon, trapping him inside. As the transformation progressed, more and more wasps crawled out of his skin. They were covered in pus and other bodily fluids, and they looked as if they were ready to feast on my friend's flesh. I couldn't hear the sounds of their tiny mandibles chomping away. I could hear the sound. No, that's very graphic description. I could hear the sound of their tiny mandibles chomping away, tearing at his skin and muscles. But it wasn't just the wasps that were changing Jack's body. His limbs were shriveling, and his fingers were becoming empty and flat. His face ballooned, his eyes bulging out of their sockets as his nose and mouth flattened under the pressure of the mass of insects swarming inside him. The buzzing grew louder, and I could see the wasps crawling just beneath the surface of Jack's skin. They were everywhere, filling every part of his body, as if they were building a nest inside him. I was paralyzed with fear and disbelief as my friend Jack was cored and turned to mulch from the inside out, his choked screams now muffled and gagged by the writhing mass of buzzing insects filling his throat and chest cavity. The sheer volume of wasps crawling out of his body had all but buried him, covering him in a thick, writhing blanket of black and yellow. I wanted to run, to get away from this nightmare, but I couldn't leave Jack behind. He was my friend, and I couldn't just abandon him to this fate. So I stood, rooted in the spot, watching as he transformed into a living wasp hive before my very eyes. The wasps continued to pour out of his body, filling the room with their angry buzzing. Their wings beat in a frenzied rhythm. This sounds like 1,000 tiny drums pounding in my ears. I could see their stingers glinting in the dim light, and I knew that I had to get out of there before they turned on me. As the wasps emerged from the thing that a week ago had been Jack, I could see that they were covered in pus and... Okay, can we just establish something? Yes, the wasps were covered in pus and other bodily fluids. This story makes sure that we remember that. It's just like it keeps saying, like, blood, pus and bodily fluids. And they reassure with every segment of this story, with every, paragraph. I feel like every paragraph just has like, oh, the wasps were covered with blood and pus and bodily fluids. And yes, I remember from a few seconds ago. I still remember that. Okay. Okay, I'm rant over. Okay, so they were like a living disease, spreading their infection throughout his body, consuming him from the inside out. I could see the wounds on his skin, the places where the wasps had burrowed into his flesh, and I knew that there was no hope for him now. The transformation was not just physical but mental too. Jack's screams had turned into a high-pitched buzzing, and his eyes had become black and glossy. His skin was no longer flesh, but tough, shiny armor, like the surface of a wasp's nest. Yeah, we know that. The wasps continues to crawl out of him, filling the room with their angry buzzing. Cool. Jack's body was no longer his own, but a breeding ground for these vicious insects. And as the wasps swarmed around us, I knew that I had to get out of there before they turned their attention to me. The air was thick with the scent of sweat and fear, and I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. I knew that I had to move, had to get away while I still had the chance. I took a step back, trying to put some distance between myself and the wasps, but it was too late. They had already spotted me. Oh boy. And they were coming for me with vengeance. Vengeance! Wasp's vengeance. The most brutal forms of vengeance. The wasp's vengeance. Could have, yeah. What? Okay. I took a step back, trying to put some distance between myself. Okay, vengeance. Yeah. Okay, we've established that. I turned and ran, my heart pounding in my chest as I fled the room. The sound of buzzing was deafening, and I could feel their wings beating against my skin. The flashes and flares of white-hot pain as the first stingers found me. I burst through the door, slamming it shut behind me, and ran down the hallway. Wait, but they stung him, so he dead. And ran down the hallway, trying to put as much distance between myself and the wasps, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Wait, and I knew that I had to keep running if I wanted to survive. Their buzzing grew louder and more persistent with rattling breath from my panicked lungs. I could see their shadows flickering on the walls, and I knew that the bulk of the swarm was getting closer. I pushed myself harder, my muscles burning with the effort, and finally burst through the front door. I ran for what felt like hours, my mind spinning. I couldn't believe that what I had just witnessed, and I didn't know what to do next. All I could think about was the fact that Jack was gone, replaced by a swarm of vicious wasps, and that had taken over his body and turned him into a living nest. I managed to calm down after a few hours, but when I went back to try and see if I was going mad or not, but the area was cordoned off by shady-looking CIA-looking spooks. Oh, hey, Men in Black. Scientists and researchers descended on our apartment, desperate to study the living wasp nest that used to be Jack. They've cordoned off our street. I think that's how we say it. Oh, whatever. And I'm writing this from an internet cafe. Please, if you're reading this, stay away from any strange wasp's nest you find. I've still got to work out what I'm going to tell Jack's mom. Also, stay away from wasp's nests in general. Just stay away. Yeah. One of us. The Men in Black? Oh, great. Another danger. Hey. Wait. Plot twist. He can't be infected because he has Mothman's blood. Hey. That's definitely West Virginia. Definitely Point Pleasant. Everything happens in Point Pleasant. And yeah, this is what I'm gonna believe. So basically he is immune because in fact he does have, he's the descendant of Mothman. That's why. Okay. Okay, the next one, wait. I'm gonna go find a wasp nest now. Do not, hey, listen. Listen, do not find the wasp's nest, okay? Don't, just no. I'm gonna go near a wasp nest and become a hive. Why? Why don't? Okay, kids, don't do that. It's dangerous, do not. Okay. Let me read another one. This one is shorter. Just stay away. Just stay away. Good advice. Yeah, good. And not only, as I said, not only from like weird looking wasp nests with vicious looking wasps, from any wasp nests, okay? Why? Because I said so, okay? Listen to me. I'm telling you, okay? This is an order from your supervisor. From your detective supervisor, okay? I am leading this team, okay? I need you guys for my investigations. I can't just lose people, all right? Just stay as you are. They're fun to run from, hey. But the honey, what honey? Get it from the bees. Jesus Christ. Good night, Sona. I'm sleepy. Okay, no worries. And Eric, thank you so much for the stories. Sorry I was late. No worries, no worries. I did read a couple of your stories. Now I'm gonna read another one, actually. So thank you so much for submitting them. Okay, remember, do not cross the rickety bridge. Yeah. Burn demon wasp nest and wasps. How are you still streaming? Yes, I am still streaming. I will end after maybe like another 2... I think the last 2 stories and I'm gonna end. Oh, Sona, I just left the Kite Fest. Yeah. Well, I'm still streaming. It's been like 2 hours. Okay, last two stories, and then my throat is like that. Then my voice is dead, and I have to go to sleep. Because I also have a true crime live stream in the morning, like my time, as in 7 p.m. Pacific time, and I still have to like prepare some stuff for that. So yeah. So anyway, well, I mean, okay, since we're talking about this, if you're interested in true crime, I'm gonna have a true crime live stream on Patreon tomorrow. Well, I mean, today at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And this time we're gonna be talking about a serial killer case, which was very interesting because of the way the killer was caught, which was by catfishing. You might have seen it on my Discord server or like I posted it on my Twitter. So yeah, if you're yes. If you're interested, check out my Patreon. The link is in the description of this video, as well as in the chat, in the pinned message. I can't speak, you know, like I'm thinking about the wasp nest. Okay. Okay, let me go to the next one. What? Missed my own submissions? Now I feel even worse. No, Eric, there's another one. Don't worry about that. I have another one. I have like one more. I didn't read all of them because I literally have, my voice can handle like 2 hours. So yeah, double the Sona stream. Yeah, today it's actually 2 streams. So this one is now in the morning Pacific time, so it's scary stories, and then I have one on Patreon, and boy, that case, I've been waiting to cover that case, and it's as infuriating as I remember it to be. So just, Discord, what is your Discord? It is on my profile. So if you go to my main page, it should be linked. If it's not, then it's a problem and I have to, which I have to solve. Actually, I can just send the, let me just send the link in. Let me just send the link in the chat. That's what I'm gonna do. Send the link in the chat of this stream. Oh yeah, let me send it. Let me send it in the chat. Here we go. Discord. Here we go. We have Discord. Okay, now for the next story. I think my neighbor is a social media influencer. I can see why that might be that can be a scary story. Okay, there is wait, Alberto is asking, are there more scary stories in the future? Absolutely, yes, I will definitely have this stream again, so don't worry. Okay, I live in a duplex, and I think the girl on the other side of the house must be some sort of social media influencer. Hello, I guess. I don't think I'm an influencer, but yeah. The walls are thin, and she talks all the time. Okay, never mind. I'm always hearing snippets of her recording videos and doing live streams. Okay, I stand corrected. I've heard her talk about anything from makeup tips to her favorite recipes and to DIY hacks. I tried to find her channel once to see her videos, but I'm not that active on social media and I don't even know her name. Just her face and voice. So I gave up. We don't cross paths often, and I've never been good with the friendly neighbor small talk. We do the smile and nod when we see each other, but that's it. The last few times I've heard her, she sounded off. Like she's forcing the happy voice for her videos. I mean, don't we all? I feel like we all do. Kind of, sometimes. Sometimes we just have to act. Honestly, there's no way to like always every day is a good day. That might sound strange. It actually doesn't. But I've been working from home for over a year. The only other place I really spend time is my boyfriend's house, and I've gotten pretty damn familiar with her tones. I can even tell the difference between when she's recording for her channel and when she's on the phone with friends and being her real self. A few months ago, she sounded extra perky, and I think I heard her mention a new boyfriend. I was happy for her, even if hearing it made me a little sad. I hadn't been seeing my own boyfriend as much lately since he'd been busy with a new project at work. But lately, things don't seem as good for her. And I noticed the subjects she talks about seem to have changed. Instead of the typical, how I prep a week of meals in an hour, or let's unbox this free set from so-and-so, I've heard her say things like, today I want to teach you about how to notice red flags when you start seeing someone, and tips for moving on from a stalker. Oh, she has a stalker. Is this Oshinoko? Oh shit. I was starting to get worried about her. I was considering going to knock on her door and introducing myself to see if she was okay. But I was swamped with work, and I'd finally heard from my boyfriend after a few days of radio silence. I shrugged it off, figured she had enough people supporting her. Maybe she was just getting into the true crime genre. Hey! Like every other girl. Hey! And I'm not every other girl, okay? I'm a VTuber. There's a vast difference. I swear there is. And I was being overdramatic. I went to stay the night at my boyfriend's. I got home an hour or so ago and was settling in for dinner and a movie on my couch when I heard a different voice in her side of the house for the first time. My boyfriend's voice. I think I need to call 911. I just heard him say, "Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to teach you how to get revenge on the bitch who broke up with you." Oh, what? Wait a minute. Oh, so nice that you again. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Definitely not. Oh my god. So the boyfriend was the boyfriend, and he was seeing both of them, and then she broke up with him because oh boy. Oh my. No. Oh no. Yeah, red flags definitely. Oh, everyone's just like, ayo. What? Everyone's just like, what the fuck happened? Why? I need those how to. Yeah, I need those how to too, I think. No, I'm kidding. I actually don't, but it's okay. I'm sure this is indicating you, Sona. Story sounds familiar. I mean, I don't have a stalker, so so far so good. I mean, for the future, probably good to know how, but I'm just saying, I don't. Luckily, I've been fortunate enough to not have a stalker yet so far. Okay, teach me the way, sensei. Okay, let me read this last story, and then I have a surprise for you guys actually. So that's gonna be interesting. Okay, so this last story is from Ketsuya, and it is called "My Son Makes Things Disappear." I used to sourly joke with my son since he was a child that he was magical because he would lose things constantly. And they would sometimes stay lost for years or forever. I told him he must make them disappear. Maybe he put them down and would create a black hole that sucked them into another universe. It was supposed to be a joke. Mouse hole! Mom, have you seen my phone? My son, Tyler, asked, standing in my room before me and distracting me from the book I was reading. I sighed heavily, the book flapping down into my lap. He looked at me, his big brown eyes lit with a questioning gleam. The last time I saw it, you were using it to talk to your dad, I said. When did you notice it was gone? Tyler's thin shoulders lifted in a shrug. I don't know, he mumbled. A week ago? I shook my head in exasperation. Hard words. Tamping down the impatience rising from my gut. This is the fourth and most expensive phone you have made go poof, I said. You better just undisappear it. He looked away from me, his hands together fidgeting. Can you help me look for it? Over the course of the ensuing months, we tore his room apart. No phone. Other things were found that we had forgotten about. I would find an item and show it to him. And we would remember looking in the same places for months, maybe years before. Other parts of the house also yielded nothing. Not even when my brother tried to help by moving furniture. No one could find it. Of course, my OCD son always powered his phone off when not in use, so we could not call it or use Find My Phone. And so, a year went by. Mom, where do you think it went? My son asked. Your phone? I answered, and shook my head, my breath coming out in a short laugh. You made it disappear. Just like your other phones and toys when you were a child, never to be seen again. Tyler huffed. Oh, come on, you serious? I pursed my lips and frowned. Maybe the fairies took your phone. Tyler did not laugh. He just walked away and plopped himself down in front of his computer, slouching in his chair with one leg thrown over the armrest. No wonder he destroyed so many desk chairs. Not long after that, I woke up in the middle of the night and heard a whisper coming from my son's room, which was next to mine. I sat up, leaning on one arm, and cocked my head to try and make out what he was saying. Please, fairies, can you bring me back my phone? And can you please stop taking my things? I snorted softly and shook my head. I decided against saying anything to him. Turned around and went back to sleep. I was woken the next morning by someone gently jiggling my arm. I opened my groggy eyes and looked up to find the intruder of my morning sleep. What? I croaked. My son stood over me. He raised his right hand, and in it was his long-lost phone. His eyes were bright with triumph. I got it back, he said. Great, I replied. Now let me sleep. I have 15 minutes before I have to get ready for work. With a sigh, I rolled over and snuggled under my blankets as I heard him leave my room and my door squeaked closed. That night, my son and I were eating dinner when his phone rang. He got up and came back with it in his hand. It was still ringing. You going to answer it? I asked. It says unknown, he replied, staring down at the screen. He answered it and put it on speaker as was his custom. We heard sounds like a scuffle, then a scream, a whooshing sound like a train going by, then a multitude of raised, confused voices and shrieks. Looking up at me, his face was white as a ghost. My son ended the call. I felt a knot of anxiety and nausea form in my gut, an instinctual reaction to the disturbing and bizarre occurrence. Bad call? my son said softly. Yeah, wrong number, I said shakily. Ignore it. The next morning at breakfast, I opened the newspaper as I sipped my coffee. The headline on page 2 pulled me to it, and my breath caught in my throat as my chest felt tight. Man stabbed and pushed onto tracks of oncoming subway. Jesus. My mind did not want to let what I was reading sink in. I fought the memory of the call from the previous night, but it replayed anyway. A short shriek from my son jolted my thoughts, my hand spilling my coffee in my lap. I got up quickly and ran upstairs to find him. He was standing in his room, holding something. Turning around when he heard me enter, I saw him holding something in his hand, a look of shock on his pale face. It was a bloody knife. "Mom, it just appeared in my room," Tyler whispered. "What the? Drop it," I yelled. He let it go and it fell to the floor. As we both stared at it in horror, I heard the sound of my son's phone ringing. "Don't answer it," I said, "and don't touch the knife." My mind spinning and jumping from thought to thought. I went back downstairs and picked up the newspaper with a shaking hand. I read more of the article. It said the attacker escaped, and the knife used by the assailant was missing. I felt the information hit my brain and scramble against all that was rational and logical. It was like I had been reluctantly pushed into an episode of The Twilight Zone. I took some deep breaths and tried to calm myself. First things first, I grabbed a kitchen rag, some rug cleaner, and a garbage bag, and went back upstairs to my son's room. He was pacing, wringing his hands as I bent down and grabbed the bloody knife and shoved it in the bag. Then I started to scrub the rag. "What's going on?" my son said. "What are you going to do?" "I have no idea," I replied, "but we need to get rid of this knife." We drove to an isolated part of a local reservoir system. My son and I watched as the thrown knife spun out over the water and landed with a plop, disappearing. Well, that's one odd thing we don't have to face. As we sat there, a second after it sang, I heard my son's phone ring. He pulled it out and looked at it. Then back at me, his face stony and eyes wide. "Unknown," he said. "I think I should answer it this time." "No," I cried out, holding my palms up towards him in an effort to ward off his actions. But he clicked on the call. There was a sound of panting and crunching footsteps. A muffled voice could be heard. "Somebody, please help me." "No, please stay away." When the scream started, I grabbed the phone from my son's hand and clicked off the call. Blood was pounding in my ears, and bile was climbing in my throat. "Mom, that girl needed help," Tyler said. "Should we call the police?" "And tell them what?" I replied. Tyler looked away, and then down at his lap, shrugging. "Well, you can just tell the police that someone called your number and you were hearing, like, screams and stuff." Ugh, I don't know. Tyler looked away, and then down at his lap, shrugging. I pulled away and we drove home. I still had his phone. I took it, opened the window, and threw it out. "Hey!" Tyler cried out. I did not answer him. The next morning, I tried to put it all out of my mind, like a strange nightmare. My son slouched downstairs and put on the TV. He would not look at me when I said hi, so I just rolled my eyes and got ready to leave. The mutilated body of Anna McNeil was found in the woods outside of. The hair on the back of my neck rose. I glanced over and saw my son hunched over and watching the news story intently. I grabbed my purse and keys, trying to ignore the feeling of foreboding and unease that hit me. I headed to the door. "Bye, Tyler," I said and left, looking forward to work and getting my mind away from where it was trying to go. During my lunch break, I got a call from my son. "Mom," Tyler said, "you need to come home now." "Tyler, what?" I realized he was calling me from his cell phone. "Okay, I will be there, right there." I told my boss that was an emergency at home and ran out the door. He did not even get to respond, but I did not care. The drive home felt like I was pushing through jello. Every minute felt like a drawn-out shriek in my brain. My son was waiting for me behind the screen door. "How did you get your phone back?" I said as I entered the house. "I found it in my room," Tyler replied. "I'll show you." We walked into the room and he walked over to the nightstand by his bed. He pointed. Standing next to him, I looked and gasped. There was a bloody human ear next to his lamp. He clutched at my sleeve. "That was not there before," he yelled. "That girl that got murdered. Anna McNeil. Mom." "Yeah, okay," I said, biting my lip. Just wait for me." After cleaning up, my son and I drove to a river and watched the ear swirl away and down on its way to the sea. Just tell I don't know, I know it's like a long shot, but like tell the cops that, I don't know, someone left the ear, like, oh God, like you just found it, like you've never seen this ear before, clearly, and like, oh, someone broke in and left like bloody ear or something. Long shot, but yeah, you know, I think it's worth trying, maybe. Anyway. Okay. Okay. After cleaning up, my son and I drove to a river and watched the ear swirl away and down on its way to the sea. This time, I dug a hole in the moist earth of the riverbank and buried the phone. Tyler watched me, hands in pockets. "Mom, did you ever think that maybe the universe is trying to get us to do something?" I looked up at him, moving my hair away from my eyes that had come loose from my ponytail with the back of my muddy hand. "Do what?" I said. "Looks to me like whoever returned your phone is trying to frame you for murder." I patted down on the ground over the phone, rinsed my hands in the river and shook them dry as we went back to the car. The next morning when I woke up, I still felt some trepidation. But as I went through my morning routine without a hitch, I tentatively began to relax. I yelled goodbye to my son and went to work. The day passed uneventfully, and I leaned into my work to lose myself in it and shake off the residual effects of the last few days. I returned to a quiet house. I called my son's name but got no answer. There was no sign of my son in the kitchen, the living room, or anywhere downstairs. Since he has no life outside of this computer, wow, that's sad. Hi. Also hi. It's me. I'm the problem, it's me. Since he has no life outside of his computer, I figured he may be glued to Discord or YouTube in his room. I opened his bedroom door and heard a ringing. No sign of Tyler. On his nightstand was his phone, covered in traces of dirt. It kept ringing. Slowly I approached it, the words Tyler had said by the river last night repeating in my mind. I picked it up and answered. "Hello?" I said, my voice catching in my throat. "Mom, you have to save me," Tyler said. "I don't know where I am, or how I got here. It's dark, but I don't think I am alone." Breathing hard, my mouth open in shock. I thought I heard something else on the phone. Whispers and laughter. Anyone know how I can find my son? Oh, plot twist! Oh boy. Oh yeah, that's a plot twist. Now, where do I have the? Also, I need to. Okay, and I have one more thing that I wanna kind of like watch with you guys on stream. I just have to pull it up. the son have double personality, I think, or some psychos really framing him, or you know, fairies. I don't know, just fairies. Okay, so there's this other thing that I wanted to show you guys. This was done like way back. It's been quite a while. So, wait, let me see. Oh, okay, got it. Wait. That was a pretty good story, I have to say. Like, I really liked the story, so it's a pretty good concept. Like, all of them are pretty good concepts, but yeah, this one was pretty good. Okay, and there is a surprise, even though it's probably gonna be scuffed. Yeah, a little bit scuffed, because I always like forget to resize this, or like get another one to resize it. Yay, another screen. Wee. Okay, so this was actually recorded a while ago. The edit was done by Tyrant, and the reading, this is like a story that was read by one of my friends, Morgan Clear. He's also a VTuber. So yeah, like they did a little reading of a scary, I guess like a scary poem. You could say that. Okay, scary story, scary poem. They have like, he's got like the deepest, more like the most creepypasta fit, I don't know, like voice I've ever heard. So I don't know, you guys will see. So this is a scary reading. We're just gonna listen to it. It's been months, honestly, because this was like one of the kind of not rewards, but like promises that I made, or like the things that we promised like after the like subathon. And yeah, I do have VTuber bodies, not bodies, buddies. So it's my friend, a VTuber friend, Morgan Clear. You guys can check him out. And yeah, let's just listen to the recording. Let's see how it goes. Also, I have to. Oh, okay. Let me just turn off the. Let me just turn off the thunder. But yeah.
Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Please hold that discretion if you are willing to proceed with this video. Thank you for your understanding, and please stay safe. he won't be content until he takes your life.
Whoa. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. So you guys. Ah! that was pretty spooky. Oh, that was such a good edit too. Like I've seen it before, but like I've listened to it, but yeah. Yeah, that was such a good job. Morgan, great job. Excellent work. Thank you so much for the recording, and Tyron, thank you so much for the edit. I will make sure to post the video in the description of this video. Like I just have to add it. But you guys, the video and obviously Morgan's channel is gonna be in the description after the stream ends. Morgan was just like popping into the chat, so you guys see his account. Thank you so much, Morgan, again. That was an excellent work, and it was a very nice. It really has that spooky kind of feel. You should really like start reading scary stories, for real. Yeah, it was beautiful, right? Okay, you guys. That Morgan, yeah, exactly, that Morgan. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Everyone with a golden voice gotta be named Morgan. Oh my god. Well, I mean, I would consider that a compliment. I mean, Morgan has like this perfect deep voice for like just perfect for like creepypastas and scary stories and just, you know, like chills. Oh, I've been here listening. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. And yeah, again, thank you. It's fantastic work. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to the recording and to the edit to the video. Okay, so you guys, that's actually pretty much it for today's stream. Thank you again for listening to the scary stories, for hanging out with me, and yeah, if you would like to subscribe to the channel, please do. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to be notified whenever I show up in my little dark corner of the internet. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it actually does help my channel a lot. So again, thank you so much. I'm just gonna remind you guys that today at 7 p.m. I also have a true crime live stream on my Patreon, and it's gonna be a case of a serial killer that was caught by the victim's friends. And then I will have the Cryptid Files stream on Sunday, also 7 p.m. Pacific time. And this time we're discussing the Bigfoot. I don't know if you guys saw it on Discord, but yeah, I've announced it. This time the Cryptid Files is gonna be about the Bigfoot. And I do have some pretty recent updates and pretty spooky ones too. Okay, that's it for today. So stay safe out there. Always lock your doors and windows. Bury your haxes. And until the next time. Bye.